The Bengals have been the NFL's laughingstock since they were created in 1970, so let's go back in time to 1970 to see where everything went wrong. The Bengals are born into the NFL in the AFC Central. They reach a wildcard spot only to be shut out by the Colts. I do have hope for this team though. Turns out that year was a fluke and they go 4-10. You may not be the worst team in the league, but you still are nowhere near playoff contention. You finish first in the Central Division only to run into a brick wall called the Dolphins. Become a mediocre team and lose 3 out of your 4 last games to finish 7 of 7. You have an outstanding offense with Glenn Cameron and John Reeves, but again, you lose in a wildcard game, this time against the Raiders. Become tied in the playoff standings only to miss by 1 win.
Oh yes, I remember now. Missed it by that much.
Lose in a playoff spot to the Oilers, and with an 8-6 record, you get the award for being okay. Become the absolute dumpster fire of the league, fire your head coach after an 0-5 record, and lose to all sanity as possible. Even with new reigns, you are still terrible. Anthony Munoz, one of the greatest linemen in NFL history, and an NFL Hall of Famer too. Too bad you still suck. I don't know what's happening to this world, but you actually won a wildcard game. Did someone hit the wrong button? And you won in the famous Ice Bowl match against the Chargers. You are finally Super Bowl contenders. It may have taken you over 11 years, but you finally made it. Finish the job. Or just lose to the 49ers. At least there's always next year. Finish 3rd overall in the league, only to be pummeled to the ground by the Jets. A fate worse than death. You go back to your old ways and become the basement of the league again. Finish the season with an 8-8 record. Good, but not good enough. Become the NFL's punchy bag and cry in the corner. At least there's Eddie Brown. You may not be playoff contenders, but I feel a sense of hope in your team. Turns out that hope was chlamydia and you grow into the HIV of the NFL. Rebuild the team and get an impressive 12-4 record and beat the Seahawks in the first round. Do I sense a hope of bliss? And you take out the Bills in the AFC Championships. Finish the job, boys. Alright, all you have to do is stop the 49ers. They may have beaten you once in the Super Bowl, but there's no way they can do it again.
Back to throw Montana. Stepped up, throws.
Never mind. Get a record of 8-8 and be the only team in the AFC Central to miss the playoffs. Dominate the AFC Central by taking out the Houston Oilers in the wildcard game, only to be routed by the Raiders. You finish the season 3-13. That's the equivalent of being in the LA traffic while the apocalypse is happening. Replace your entire team with a bunch of college nobodies and become mediocre again. At least there's Carl Pickens. Have the worst record in the league and become the dumpster fire what once was a great team. Nope, you are still terrible. At least you got the first overall pick in Dan Wilkinson? Who the heck is that? Jeff Blake, your new starting quarterback and a 7-9 record. You may not be Super Bowl contenders yet, but at least it's a start. Receive a new head coach in Bruce Closlett after firing Dave Schuchla, only to have 4 more years of mediocrity. Have another new head coach in Dick LeBeau. Hopefully he'll actually go somewhere with this team. One of the worst records in all of the NFL and replace LeBeau with Marvin Lewis not even 2 years into his contract. Get a pleasant early Christmas present with 2 years of 8-8 records and missing the playoffs twice. Finish first in the AFC Central, only to be curb stomped by the Steelers and your old head coach. How is that LeBeau guy doing anyways? Wash it down with even more Adderall with a 7-9 season. Start the season with 8 straight losses and watch from the sidelines as LeBeau receives another Super Bowl ring. You finished first in the AFC North with 10-6, only to lose in the wildcard game against the freaking Jets. You don't even make a wildcard game this season as you finished in last. It's almost like you have a thing for losing. Just barely slide into the wildcard, only to be stopped at the door by the Texans. This is it. This is your chance to get revenge on the Texans for taking you out of the wildcard game. It all comes down to this.
Quick release to Jones, trying to get loose, but he's going to be short in Cincinnati.
Well then. You finished first in the North again, only to collapse in a wildcard game against the Chargers. Another year, another horse stomping in the wildcard game, this time against the Colts.
And 7, and McCarron goes down the field, and it's caught, and Breed's in for the touchdown!
Oh my god. They did it. They beat a wildcard game. It is beautiful. Finally, after all these years, they can finally let go of the pain of losing in the playoffs. All they have to do is hold on to the ball, and they are victorious.
Here's Hill. Jarvis Jones. Ball is out! Shazier had it for a moment, and now it's picked up by Cockrell.
Oh, well, that's okay, as long as there aren't any flags on the field.
Roethlisberger from the pocket, middle of the field, incomplete. Oh, a flag does come in. Went to the head. Lewis Harris's.
At least it can't get any worse, right?
Personal foul, defense number 55, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Congrats, Bengals, you blew a wildcard game you were gifted to win. Now do us all a favor and dig your own grave. After that defeating loss, they traded up with 3 years of mediocrity. Marvin Lewis is fired after 15 years of being a head coach. It's about time. And now with Zach Taylor, you get last place again. At least you got the first pick in Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow gets injured in week 11 and doesn't help the team with a 4-11 record. It's sad, really, because this team has some potential. They show some great offensive lines, but never capitalize on them. Maybe one day they will learn from their mistakes. Only time will tell.